Kevin Gaskell. Kevin has built his career inter alia in the automotive sector. He worked for companies like BMW, Porsche, and Lamborghini, but also for other industries. Throughout his career, he's often called for to come in when there are difficult situations, difficult markets, structural changes, and the need for a rapid transformation. So, this is why he earned the nickname the business fixer, because that's exactly what he does. His message is both simple and demanding. In tough market, success depends on clarity, prioritization, and discipline. So that sounds easy? I'm not sure. Let's hear from Kevin what to do in tough markets. The floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Anya. Well, good afternoon. I'm going to talk about building great companies. You just heard from Anya, I've led Porsche, BMW, and Lamborghini. But since leaving those businesses, I've built 15 companies. And today, I lead 5 companies. My belief is business starts with a dream. Every success in business begins with a dream. That's dreaming about creating something that's extraordinary, dreaming about creating something that's unique. And through my life, I've been lucky enough to be able to build cultures where we've invited our teams to come with us on a journey. I don't talk about numbers. I don't talk about achieving certain level of profitability. What I say is come with us on a journey. Come with us so that we can look back and say, hey, look what we built together. Look what we created. And that's great. And off we go. But you know, the trouble is, certain things get in the way. And the world becomes very complicated. And it changes with this guy from day to day. And they are massive changes. One of my company's major market is the USA. And it's very challenging right now. Because as that great American poet, Mike Tyson, said, everyone has a dream till they get a punch in the mouth. And the past 2 or 3 years have been punches in the mouth. It's a very challenging environment. What do you do about it? Well, my first challenge came when I was working at Porsche. And I'd grown up through that company. I'd been there for 5 years. And the business had got itself into real difficulty. We were in real challenge. We had 3 years worth of new cars unsold. 3 years unsold inventory. We were hiding cars everywhere. We had cars in airfields, in warehouses like this. We were hiding cars everywhere. And you know, here we are in a wonderful environment surrounded by wine. Well, Porsches are not like fine red wine. They do not improve by sitting around for 3 years. And the reality was we needed to do something special. Out of 32 brands in the marketplace, in terms of customer satisfaction, we were number 32. We were losing 20% on every car we sold. We were in deep, deep trouble. And just when you think it can't get any worse, they make you managing director. Sort that out, Kev. So I got a team together and I said, where do we start? How do we get behind the steering wheel of this great brand and take it somewhere new? How do we sketch out the future? How are we going to decide what we should focus on? Because we can't do everything. And we recognized that the numbers are the score. They're not the game. If we were going to deal with our lack of profitability, we needed to play a better game. And the game is about customer satisfaction. And so when we looked at our business critically, we realized that being last in the market, number 32 out of 32 brands for customer satisfaction was killing us. So I said to the team, where should we be? And somebody said, well, in the top half. And somebody else said, in the top 5. And then we decided, after discussion, we should be number 1. Why should we not be number 1? In this world, there is somebody who is world-class at everything. We should be world-class for customer service. And that's where we set our goal. We took that business apart. We started to design the future of the company. Where should we be? What should we do? What should we do differently? We took the business of 13 operating divisions and turned it into 5. Everyone told me, you can't do that, Kev, you can't do that. And I said, we're doing it. We have to do it. I drew a line up the middle of the business, so I take that guy at the back. Do you want to sit on that side of the line or that side of the line? That side. Okay, good call, because I just fired this lot. So I fired half the company. I knew everybody. I'd been there for 5 years. I knew them, I knew their wives, their husbands, their dogs, their cats, their kids. I still fired them. We had to make massive changes to the business. And I said to this half, right, now we're going to prove why we are the people entrusted with this great brand. We looked at every part of the business. We looked at other companies. We went and looked at airlines. We looked at software businesses, marketing companies, hotels. We looked at anywhere where we could find ideas. We brought those ideas back and we adapted them. 4 years later, we were number 1 in the market for customer satisfaction. We were number 1 in the market for profitability. We had no stock and we had a 1-year forward order bank. It was the same team of people, well, half, including my friend at the back, half the team of people. But we transformed that business. And that's a model that I've used again and again and again, because I firmly believe it's not about how successful you are, it's about how successful you want to be, and then using a structured approach to achieve it. This stuff doesn't just happen by waving a magic wand. It doesn't just happen by putting magic dust. This is hard work, but it needs to be structured. I break it down into 3 parts. The first is commit. And that is absolutely commit to the goal. What is it we want to achieve? What does success look like? What will it be like when we get there? The second is connect. And that's about connecting the whole team to the plan. Where are we going? How are you going to make a difference? How are you going to help me to get to there? How are you going to help us to get to here? It's about making sure everybody knows. I've never met anybody who wants to do a bad job. Never. But I've met a lot of people who are doing a bad job. And that's mostly because they don't know what's expected of them. So our job as leaders is to create the opportunity for people to contribute. Because what we're setting out to do is create. And that's create magic. The magic of a culture where people pull together. If you get all of that, you create inspiration. People become inspired. They want to help to build this thing. They want it to be part of something special. Now, inspiration is different to motivation. I can motivate you all now. It's very, very easy. I give you 2,000 euros and say, have a great day. And everyone goes, oh, that's nice. And you remember it today and tomorrow, and then it's gone and it goes away. Inspiration is internal. It's when people feel they are part of something, where they feel they are creating something that's special, where they want to come on the journey, where on a Sunday night, instead of thinking, oh, I got to go to work tomorrow, they think, fantastic, I'm going to work tomorrow, we're going to go and build that project. I am so excited to be part of it. But it starts with commit. That's daring to dream about what's possible. When the market's tough, where do we actually want to go? What are we dreaming we can achieve? That's commit, really commit. And when we talk about it, we have to make sure it's exciting. It's compelling. People want to be part of this thing. What does it look like? What will it be like? We talk about what people will see. What will I see when you're successful? What will I hear? If I come into your business and listen, what do I hear? And then mostly, what do I feel? What do I feel? People do business with people they want to do business with. They have to feel that you're providing them with something that's special. And of course, whenever I start this process in a business, the first thing that happens is I have to deal with the F word. What do you think the F word is? Fear. Fear. Humans are designed not to change. We get very comfortable. Asking people to go to a whole new place creates fear. And my job, our job, your job as leaders of businesses is to let people see that the transformation is actually exciting, it's positive. If we don't do it, that's when we should be fearful. And it's about recognizing that when we move forwards, we don't move forward by a bit. That doesn't take us anywhere. You know, tomorrow is not today plus 3%. When I work with teams, I say, look, if I give you all the resources you want, I'll give you everything. You can have money, people, technology, whatever you want. I'll give it to you. How would you grow this business next year? Not by 4%, but by 40%. And people go, whoa, Kev, whoa. And I say, come on, let's have a think. And I let people talk about it for an hour. And then I say, look, let's change that. Forget the 40%, and everybody relaxes. And I say, 400%. And they go, you're crazy. I say, no, what would you do? I'm going to give you all the resource you need, 400% growth. How would you do it? And people start talking about, well, I'd go into this market. Well, I'd change this product. Well, I'd attract this customer group. Well, yeah, okay, let's get the ideas. Come on, let's talk big. Let's think big. And we start talking about what could be possible. But then we break that down. I say, let's prioritize it. Now, I did this exercise with a global drinks manufacturer about 3 years ago. They'd grown and they'd stalled. You would know their name. Grown and stalled. And we worked as a group of about this many leaders. And we worked together for 3 days. We went through this. We prioritized what they needed to do to grow by 400%. Draw a line halfway, take the bottom half, throw them away. You'll never do them. It's too much. Let's take the top half. Now let's look at that again. Let's challenge ourselves again. Reprioritize. Halfway, take the bottom half, put it on one side. Let's focus on the top 25%. When we do that, and I say to the team, right, what's stopping you from achieving that? It's not resource. Usually it's focus. We're too busy doing the day-to-day. That's the trouble. What I need to do is encourage people to look beyond, to recognize that tomorrow is not today plus a bit, tomorrow is a whole different place. So let's imagine how we get there. We focus on that 25%. This drinks company, the CEO phoned me up 9 months later, and he said, Kev, you won't believe it. He said, it's just moving up. I said, yeah, I'm not surprised, because you're focusing on the right things now. But you've got to get on with it, you know, because once you've defined those top priorities, well, then it's like eating a frog. You know what they say about eating a frog? If you're going to eat a frog, don't look at it for too long. Doesn't get any more appetizing. This is about moving fast, learning fast. We're not looking for market share. One of the critical parts here is stop chasing market share. Don't look for market share, look for opportunity share. It's a whole different thing. Opportunity share is something different. Go and look where the competitors don't look. Go and imagine where you can find opportunity that they are afraid to look at. But then bring the team with you. That's about connecting. That's about recognizing that everybody needs to be part of this. And we've drawn a line. We've started by defining what success looks like. And we start there and we work back to here. Because if I start there and work back to here, that's a straight line. Whereas if I start here and think I'm going over there somewhere, technology changes, so I adapt. Competitors change, I adapt again. Legislation, Trump, and we wander around it. No. Start there, work back to here. That's a straight line. That's where we're going. Don't let anybody knock you off that. It's about recognizing that we have those priorities, so let's use them. You know, here we are in the home of this wonderful automotive brand, Germany. Anybody got one of these? Yeah? No? Anyone got two of these? This is a Porsche 918. Current value about $2 million, which is a great investment because they were only $1 million when they were new. The point about a car like this is If you want to go around a race circuit at 150 miles an hour, it's a fantastic car. It's just amazing. But if you want to go shopping or take the kids to school, it's terrible. I can tell you from experience, you never get out of the car park because you're surrounded by kids. But it's an amazing product. The point is, when I was running Porsche, the first mistake we made was we thought we were selling cars. We thought we were selling transportation. Are we selling transportation? No, we're selling dreams. By the time a customer's come into a Porsche showroom, they've already spent 25 years imagining owning this car, imagining driving. They had the picture on the wall when they were kids. And if we didn't create the experience for them when they came in, we lost them, we disappointed them. 30 years of waiting, and I went in and, it was a disaster. So we recognized, when we said we wanted to go from number 32 to number 1, that we needed to create a whole experience. And it's the same in this world. It's an experience. It's about recognizing that people will pay for that. Price is not a number. Price is an experience. And it has to be world class. Wherever I touch that brand has to be world class. There's somebody somewhere in the world who is the best at everything. Find them, learn from them, look at them. Recognize that you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Somebody's already done it. Just go and steal it. I steal ideas from everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And I'm not afraid to say so because I bring them back into my businesses and I adapt them. But I let people see how they contribute. This is a plan for one of our companies. You can see this is very simple. Very simple. It's designed to be very simple. It's handwritten. It's purposefully handwritten because that's friendly. It's written on a big sheet of paper. We put it on the wall all around the business, the same plan. We let people really see what it is we're setting out to do and why we're setting out to do it. There's no secrets. We make it very easy for people to see how they make a difference. We let people see how they contribute. This is connecting people with the plan. Now behind this, of course, we have all the usual project files and Excel files and we have all of that stuff. But the clue is that they're called files. And what happens when I send you one of those? You file them. Whereas this is visible. And this sits in the office and people write on it. And it gets ideas and circles. And it becomes a tool that allows people to help us to build something extraordinary. You know, they say everybody's at least 5% genius. Einstein was 75% genius. But we're all at least 5% genius. So if we've got a clear plan, we know where we're going. For every 20 people I can get lined up around that plan, I've got a complete genius. 20 times 5%, 100% genius. So my job as a leader is not to be a genius, which is really handy because I'm very definitely not. But it's to get, here I've got 20 people. That's a complete genius there. Not sure about this side. That's a complete genius. It's about recognizing that when we invite people into our businesses, we say to them, bring it with you. When I employed you, I employed the whole of you. So when you come in, bring the top 10%, this bit here. Help me by being creative. Help me to recognize we can't outspend the competition. We spend more, they spend more, they spend more, they spend more. Look around here. Everybody's competing with everybody else. No. We can't outspend. What we can do is outthink. And when we think about it, we need to make sure we understand that every decision we make assumes that the client is in the room. Because if we're not improving the experience for the client, why are we making the change? What does it do? Every time we try to reduce cost in our business, we have to enhance the customer experience. And sometimes that's counterintuitive. But that's the debate we go through. And we look everywhere for the ideas. This is a photograph from one of my companies. This we call the ideas wall. And in terms of scale, just over here you can see a door. This is a door handle here. So this is kind of about the right size, actual size. What we do is invite everybody to put their ideas on here. On that wall over there, I've got the plan. Everyone can see the plan. Now, what ideas have you got to help us to achieve? They put their ideas on here. These are all the raw ideas. Then what we do is we hold our board meetings standing here. And we say to individuals, this is your idea. Yeah, that's right. Come and join the board. Come and join the board. Tell us how this idea here is going to help us to achieve our goal. And people explain because they know. Because they know how to do their job. I don't know how to do their job. I'm just the CEO or the chairman. They know how to do it. So we take their ideas. We move them across the wall. They go into a block. This is the logistics block here. And that was a logistics idea. Now, not every idea makes it across the wall. We have this wonderful English word which is intriguing. Oh, that's an intriguing idea, because you never say it's a bad idea. But we take it and we put it on one side. We don't use it, but we don't throw it away. We go back and visit it again. By doing this, people can see how they directly influence the way that the customer is shaped. They go home at night and they say, hey, you know what I was doing today? I was in the board today. And their husband or wife says, yeah, you know that idea I had for logistics? The one you've been talking about for 3 years? Yeah. Well, we're going to do it. Really? Yeah, they're going to do it. Well, fantastic. So our team feel that they're engaged, that we're listening. And we actually take their ideas and drive them across because we're setting out to create the magic of shared achievement. This is the biggest asset in the business, a positive culture. You can't show it on your balance sheet, but what you can do is recognize it. You walk into a company that's got a buzzing culture, it's, wow, I get it. Because all the progress we make in business is about the people. It's about people recognizing that innovation is down to them. You know, there's no such thing as an innovative company. No such thing. A company is just some papers filed somewhere. But what there are innovative teams, innovative people. And by engaging those people, inviting them on this journey, people get excited. They actually get inspired. And I say we develop leaders at every level. It's not somebody with a title leader. These are the people who go the extra mile. These are the people who will ask the questions, who will support their colleagues, who will be open to communication. These are the people who make a difference. And by doing that, we make sure that we catch good people in, not catch good people out. That means when it's positive, we say thank you. We don't catch people out when it goes wrong. That's very quiet. Because what we're setting out to do is make sure everyone understands they're part of the whole. And our job as leaders is to recognize that leadership starts where certainty ends. The world is uncertain. There's a lot of turbulence out there. But let's make sure we understand that turbulence is energy. Let's use it to our benefit. I've been lucky enough to do that with some amazing teams and some great brands. My smallest business started 9 years ago. We were 12 people. Today that business is 750 people and it's valued at about $1 billion. That's by applying this model. That's by looking for opportunity share, not market share. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. I don't know how it's with you. I feel inspired, and I will go home and take this wall. So, are there any questions? If not, there's one.
As a wine consumer, that you probably are, what is the wine? Where are the opportunities you see in the wine industry?
That's a big question. But to me, what's the dream? Let's start with where we started. What are we committed to? What are you committed to? What is it you want your business to become? And that's about defining success. It's about defining your brand. It's about defining your product. And I walk around here, and I do drink wine, but I don't know anything about wine. So I walk around here, and how do I differentiate from one booth to another booth? And so if I were running a wine business, and I've run all kinds of businesses from gardening to boats to cars to everything, starts with a definition of success, starts with a definition of the product. What is it that you're going to do to distinguish yourself from the 1,000 other booths in this room? What is it? That's where I'd start.
Thank you for the talk. Really inspiring. I have a question. You said you started a lot of businesses, 13 businesses. How do you know what to do and what to help to be inspired itself? Because I want to make a business, but how can I do it so I can first find the inspiration myself and then like connect to different people?
If you're not inspired already by your idea, by what it is you want to build, I'm not going to be able to inspire you. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs. I've got a website called smarterbritain.co.uk. Go on it. It's a free journey for young entrepreneurs to create new businesses. And I've already done this. We did this in South Africa. We've created 20,000 entrepreneurs. So go on, smarterbritain.co.uk. It's free. Go on there. But we'll take you through the journey. But you've got to go in there with an idea. Now, is your idea going to be successful? Don't know. But if you're not inspired by it, it ain't going to work. You know, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. That's the truth of it. But you need to be inspired to start with. But the inspiration for building it, you're going to hit bumps. It's going to get difficult, but we'll get you through those. Everybody does that. We all do that. I still do it today. I've been doing it a long time. I still do it today. But you get over the bump. You get over it.
Thank you.
So anymore? Otherwise I have one. We talk about hi, here. We talk about a market in structural decline. Does it change your advice?
No, not at all. You know, a market in structural decline, people still want to drink something. I watched the speaker earlier on, low alcohol, no alcohol. That's a shift in the market. That's what I mean about look for opportunity share. There are different things, different market segments you can attack. People still drink, and they still drink wine, and they still drink other products based on grapefruit. There are opportunities, and if I were to buy a vineyard or a wine business, I would sit down and look where those new opportunities are. So I don't accept a declining market. I mean, look, I work in the automotive. I have a race car business now, but the whole world wants to move from internal combustion to electric vehicles. Okay, but the customer doesn't at the moment. So that's you could argue that's a declining market, but we're still going. We're still going. I don't accept declining market.
Okay.
I've been hearing it for 35 years. I don't accept it. It's a different market. Where is it growing? Because if it's declining here, it's growing there. People are still buying product to drink. What is it?
And do you have a suggestion? What would be the strengths of the wine industry?
The strengths of the wine industry: heritage, authenticity, some amazing brands, and the fact that there is still a massive consumer base out there, massive. Those strengths are huge. Build a business on the back of that. I mean, I always say, interrogate your business until it confesses its strengths. The strengths are in there. What are they? Really understand what those strengths are, and then build around those. And if that strength is authenticity, if that strength is your particular product, if it's your customer base, start with that and build around that. but really ask yourself about your own business. Interrogate your business. Where are our strengths? And then build on those.
And if you have to give one uncomfortable piece of advice, something we don't want to hear, what would it be?
For the wine industry, stop talking to yourselves. Stop talking about the fact that, you know, I don't know anything about wine, but we make it in this way, and it's got this and this and this and this and this detail. So what? Stop talking to yourselves. Talk to the world. Tell me why I should buy your product.
Thank you very much. This was really inspiring.
Thank you.